Well, modern problems call for modern solutions. As of course, it's snowing. Is it fake snow? Who knows? As of course, now we're getting inundated with TikTok and Instagram videos highlighting how the snow we're seeing actually isn't really snow. It's bioengineered, Bill Gates, GMO junk. What in the world's really going on here? We're going to take a deep dive into this, as well as the kind of spooky, weird world of Bill Gates' science and experiments that truly are more bizarre than ever, as there's a lot of truth, especially when it comes to weather modifications, specific incidences with countries doing it, businesses out there in America that are right now greening the desert in places like China, as states are now passing legislation, as even Candace Owens has come out and came out with her own theory about what is really going on here. And I want to connect the dots with Bill Gates, just trying to block out the sun. Yeah, we'll talk about that and a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. By the way, the clip that we played is an old clip. It's a guy shoveling his driveway with a flamethrower. I have a flamethrower too. America! I remember my girlfriend at the time was like, why do you need a flamethrower? You don't need a flamethrower. My friends were like, you don't need a flamethrower. I was like, I need a flamethrower. This was a ceremony where we lit the porcupine on fire at PorcFest. Why not? As of course, I live in Miami. Miami's going to get cold, as freezing temperatures are expected all throughout Florida as well. I would like to apologize for all the people that I was rubbing it in that it was warm last week and it was cold everywhere else, as a lot of people have different solutions to this cold and this snow here, as it's pretty clear here we are going to be facing another major cold front, which some people are saying is done with fake snow. Is that the actual claim that's being represented to us? Well, yeah, lots of people are saying it's fake snow. Now, there's some different kind of explanations to what's happening here, specifically with carbon, but this is one of the videos that's going viral right now.
This is nuts right here. I'm also in the snow melt today. Okay. It's not alone. There's many, many more. Took some good close-ups of that guy. There were some bugs swimming around in there earlier, but it's kind of drying off. I'd have to reload it.
Now, what are we looking at? Well, people are saying, look, there's parasites and chemtrail rain with the fog. There's also a lot of interesting talk online from Fog, as Grok has this answer saying, a peer-reviewed study shows that those in atmospheric chemistry and physics confirm snow naturally harbors microbes like bacteria and fungi from atmospheric deposition. Deposition. But no scientific consensus supports claims of deliberate parasitic contamination from geoengineering programs. Now, Owen Schroyer also released this video saying, here's the snow from last weekend sitting on a fire and not melting. Now, I know there's a phenomenon, especially with ice cream not melting anymore. People leave ice cream out. Specific brands. There's some brands that still are good, but some ice cream has preservatives in it that literally does not melt. You just have this kind of congratulated jelly goop gob that is in your food because of all the preservatives. As people are saying, it melts, the melted drops get absorbed into itself rather than dripping. It will forgive since this is Texas. Other people are saying, no, there's some carbon in there, and that's why snow is acting as weird as it is. It's also ice. And there's different kind of scientific explanations to what's happening here. Now, the reason why a lot of people are going on this type of consensus, one, it's because the algorithm's feeding it to them. Two, the scientific community was pretty much bought and paid for. A lot of people during the coup year found out that doctors could be as easily bribed as politicians are. That's the truth. and they were giving us gobbledygook nonsense as science. They were saying, no, when you sit down, it's okay. But when you stand up, that's when it's bad. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like when you go to the beach and you're on your own and you go to Walmart, that's bad. When you go to a mom and pop business and you go to the beach, it's bad. When you go to Walmart, though, you're fine. When you, what? Listen, there's actual businesses out there. This is Augustus Dorico, CEO of Rainmaker, explaining how weather modification work. Now, has weather modification been used here for this snowstorm that happened last week, and it's going to be happening allegedly this week in the east coast of the United States? Well, we haven't got any confirmations of that, and there's no proof of it, but we do know geoengineering does exist.
Right now, snowpack enhancement. So you find the water with the radar, you fly your drone up into these conditions, hope that it survives. You disperse the material. So we have this aerosol dispersion system that basically just emits individual particles that the water freezes onto. With the same radar, you can now see it freezing, growing into bigger snowflakes, and then eventually bigger drops, and measure how much precipitates downwind.
So you're essentially introducing some type of an agent that has weight to it.
You're introducing an agent that the water freezes onto. It's just the weight of the water that pulls it down. So for every pound of this that you put up, you get in excess of 40 million pounds down on the ground.
Have you been in your own rain?
Snow.
Huh. Interesting, because of course China figured out how to make it not rain and rain. We'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do and play more kind of clips, as well as getting Candace's take on this, we wanted to tell you about WeAreChange.shop. We got a lot of great, amazing, incredible supplements available to you. I just saw this post here from Energy Up, random post. It was just on Twitter. It recommended it to me. It says, "Family doctor reveals shocking truths after 33 years." And he talks about how bad sugar is. Yeah, lots of food has sugar. Not a lot of healthy fats out there. Fat has been cut out from our diet. But he says, number one thing, vitamin D. And this person says, if everyone took the right amount of vitamin D for their own body weight, you got to determine what is right for you based on your levels. You don't want it too high. You don't want it too low. Lots of people are clinically low. The doctors are like, it's fine. I think that's insane. You got to make sure you're right in the perfect elevation levels. As he says, if people have proper vitamin D levels, doctors would barely have any patients left in their practice. I agree. You look at the COVID years, lots of people that were severely impacted, very low vitamin D. Lots of people say vast majority of people would have not been as negatively affected, would have not died if they had proper vitamin D levels. Lots of people really unhealthy, lots of comorbidities out there, lots of fats out there. And then another thing he says is omega-3s. Quote, if everyone got enough omega-3 daily, we'd see half as many inflammations in the body. Again, we got vitamin D here available. WeAreChange.shop. You scroll down. Our second best-selling supplement is our fish oil right here available on WeAreChange.shop. And then they say magnesium. If people regularly took magnesium, migraines would almost be a thing of the past. I haven't gotten a headache in a long time. I used to get headaches all the time. All the time. It is infuriating. I was like, why am I getting a headache? I'm doing everything right. I'm not drinking booze. Like, I'm exercising. Why am I continuing to get headaches? I started to take magnesium glycinate. My sleep score through the roof, 95 today. I'm so proud of it. We got magnesium glycinate available. And then he talks about gut health. Gut health is a little bit more complicated. You have specific kind of bacteria. Some are good, some are bad. It's about regulating, balancing it, making sure you don't have things like H. pylori. Take care of your gut. Lots of people have dysregulated guts. I was just doing castor oil packs. I do everything. Why? Because health is, something critically important, as there are a bunch of mad scientists out there that believe that there's too many people in this world, and they're openly implementing eugenics operation. And it's one of the reasons why people are so skeptical of snow now. Now listen, I think it's fair to say that our food has been poisoned. Our environment is being poisoned too. And there's not a lot of people that actually are doing anything really about it, as it's not just chemical byproducts that are being thrown in rivers and lakes. It's also a lot of other chemicals, a lot of the non-stick chemicals, a lot of the chemicals that we're being inundated with without our permission, a lot of the glyphosate, especially if you live near a frickin' golf course. Be careful. Look at the studies there surrounding all disorders that people face. But this is what this CEO had to say, continuing on the Sean Ryan podcast.
It's got to be.
Now, people make the argument we have to do this. Why? To help cattle, to help farmland. And if we don't do this, we're going to be screwed. China already implements this. We saw this during the Olympics. We saw areas get completely no rain. We saw other areas get completely flooded. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's China trying to regulate their kind of weather modification systems that they already have implemented and used knowingly and admittingly. As people are saying, China could use geoengineering to pursue hybrid warfare strategy. But they're not just doing that. They also have a lot of desert land. There's a lot of important lakes above Russia. China would love to have Russia collapse because they would just naturally come in and take up all of the water resources above them. China and Russia have always been going at it, especially when it comes to land and territory, as China is now geoengineering their deserts with blue-green algae, as scientists are trying to reclaim thousands of hectares of deserts using new scientific techniques, as well as geoengineering as a way to do that. Now, this has become so prevalent, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. I remember 21 years ago, I was saying, hey guys, there's like weather modification weapons out there. People are like, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. And I'm like, no, they just admit it. They use it. There's companies out there that implement it and use it to the point where a Florida government body literally just banned geoengineering and weather modification, as people are saying we do not want chemtrails. Now, Candace Owens came out and she says, back online after an internet blackout. I grew up in Connecticut and have truly never seen an ice like this ever. The temperature is 30 degrees, but the ice on our treetops is not melting at all. Never seen anything like this. Anybody else? And then there's a community note here, say 30 is below the freezing point of water at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. She says, quote, I will take a video to show you guys what I mean, but it's almost like dry ice, and it's taking out an absorbed amount of trees. Again, 30 degrees, and none of the ice is dripping from the trees. And then people go on and talk about the temperature here, and people are saying not to be that guy, but the melting point of ice is 32 degrees. Other people are saying it's probably the Jays. Milo came out saying, why do you live in a state whose sole purpose is to contain and pacify the Scot-Irish between wars? Kristen Megan, who is a government whistleblower, by the way, that whistleblowed on a lot of this. She's a friend of mine. We did a big deep dive when she was here. She stayed in my guest room. We did a lot of shows with her. I think she's great. I think she's awesome. She came out and says, I'm going to rate the community note. I am an industrial hygienist, an environmental specialist, and weather nerd, to include geoengineering whistleblower. You're not wrong. Ice drips and melts below freezing quite often, and it's due to solar radiation and temps on nearby objects and surfaces. Hello, people. Ambient temperature is just one temp involved. 32 degrees is when it freezes from liquid form. That does not equate to the inability to melt at 30. People truly will attack you for cutting and sandwich in a triangle versus straight down the middle. Calm down, people. Jordan Chamberlain. Candace, I have irrefutable evidence. The Jays are behind this. DM me. Now, again, people have different community notes here. Is it strange? Now, some people explain this kind of recent phenomenon with carbon. Some people also talk about how different types of temperature anomalies create a certain type of scenarios. But listen, we're living in a situation where Bill Gates is literally implementing scientific experiments that are blocking out the sun. All right? He tried to do this in San Francisco. The U.S. government was like, what are you doing? He went to Europe, and then he did it. How did he do that? He sprays dust into the atmosphere to block out the sun, to, quote, reverse global warming so people get less sun. I think that's insane. I think that's absolutely crazy. I think there definitely isn't a scientific type of backing here from a lot of people who are saying, you're playing God here, and you shouldn't do that. Because when you spray stuff into the atmosphere, there's going to be effects from the atmosphere. Forbes. This is Forbes. 2021. A Bill Gates venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. What could go wrong? Yeah. Nothing. It's just the Epstein guy that whose wife allegedly divorced him because he wouldn't stop hanging out with Epstein. Who thinks there's too many people in this world? Who wants to help you by blocking out the sun? It's like the Simpsons episode. I remember, like, as soon as it happened, I was like, guys, they're trying to block out the sun. He tried to do this in San Francisco. Then it didn't work. They're doing this in Europe, by the way. And there's some people in this community that are like, we got to protect Bill Gates. No, Bill Gates is Microsoft. We can't let Microsoft fall. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Why are you saying that? This guy literally is implementing some of the most chaotic, insane type of projects. Here's another video that's going wild and being shared around saying, bros in Texas say the snow is fake. It was created because of geoengineering. And Dallas is about to become a 15-minute city. Again, this is ripe for a lot of conspiracy theories here, but here's the clip.
Dallas is covered in fake snow right now. Voislop snow. This is what these planes produce out of the back, the contrails. Voislop snow.
Now, there have been weather modification tests and systems utilized in Texas, right? That has happened.
Scientists on TikTok actually put this specific snow under a microscope and literally found vaccines. Currently, they are observing the area. As you see, they got helicopters out.
Just because a helicopter flying by doesn't mean it's making it snow.
Looking for robberies going on because all the power is out right now. So they could...
Not all the power is out. But when it is cold, it is a strain on our energy infrastructure, right? And energy prices go up, energy demand goes up because more people are using energy. That's just how it works.
Building the smart cities. As you guys know, they just did construction on I-30 and they're going to be doing construction for the next 7 years here in Dallas, Texas. That means they are building a smart city.
Well, no, not always, but there's always construction. There's construction in Miami. Always. There's construction in New York. Always. Now, there are pilot programs for 15-minute cities. By the way, those are already being implemented in places like the United Kingdom, that they're doing it, and they're taxing people. Now, again, what's happening with the weather? It's cold. It's the winter. It does get cold, right? Now, some people are saying, again, there's something wrong with it. When you burn it, it burns black. Well, there's also carbon in the snow here, as people are specifically saying, look, I'm burning it and it's turning black here. Why does that happen? As people are saying, the snow isn't acting normal. Now, again, is there stuff in our atmosphere that was sprayed in there as a form of blocking out the sun or weather modification? Yeah. But we have to understand here, there are other explanations. As, of course, there's also soot from the man's torch that he uses here, right? And also from the fire that he's creating as well. And there's other kind of scientific explanations here as well. As I thought this guy gave a interesting explanation.
Now, when they take their lighter and then they're putting it to the ice, it turns it black like a soot mark. Well, the not burning blacking is caused by this right here. It is caused by the lighter. It's the combustion of the butane in the lighter which produces carbon. You know, the soot from the carbon gets trapped in the surface of the snow. That's why it turns black. Now, people are like, man, this thing smells like styrofoam or smells fake.
Yeah, it usually grabs all the crap in the atmosphere. You should be careful. Don't eat the snow, especially in New York City. It's all yellow and gray snow.
It's not real. Well, what you are smelling is the carbon that gets trapped in the snow. You're not smelling styrofoam. You're not smelling chemicals that were left in the air. You're smelling the carbon that's trapped on the ice.
Seems like a rational explanation. Again, do I trust the government? No. But we need a little bit more proof here. We need a little bit more evidence here other than just like weird and wacky TikTok videos. To be quite honest with you, there's other important things that I think are worth talking about, specifically when it comes to fake meat, which Bill Gates is a big proponent of. Now we have Mr. Beast selling fake meat, as people are saying that this is cell-cultured meat from previous tumor cancer growth patients. That's what's happening here. There's also smart dust. And there, of course, are ticks out there right now that make you allergic to meat. I'm going to do a separate video about this. If you want a separate video about the ticks that make you allergic to meat, which I think is extremely important to talk about, let me know. press in the comment section. Give me the meat tick video. That's just, yeah, whatever. Tell me you want it in the comment section, and of course, if enough people do it, I'll do another video about this, because there are a lot of weird, wacky fake meat and a lot of crazy, ungodly forms of experiments out there that are just absolutely something that we should be careful of. If you want that to be in the next video, let me know. Comment down below. Thank you so much for supporting me on wearechange.shop. I want to be here for you guys doing that. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.